It's unmuted now. Okay.
Mr. Dallas, can you hear us now?
Ma'am, I can, thank you.
There he is.
We can't hear him.
Can you hear us?
Needs to keep things in a safe place.
Okay. Can you go ahead and speak so we can make sure we can hear you?
Yes, do you hear me now?
We're asking Mr. Dallas.
Can you hear me now?
Now we can.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, say something else one more time.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear him.
Oh, it's not gonna take it to cute.
Committee meeting, April 22nd, 2025, starting at 4 p.m. District Educational Services Center, Conference Room E, remote hybrid conference and meeting. This meeting will be broadcast by the county channel. To speak during academic committee public comments, please sign up using the public comment form. You can find the BEO public comment form on our website. Okay. Mission. All right, so call to order. I'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the
Flag,
of
United
States of
States
America,
of America,
Republic,
for which
and
it stands, one
under
nation.
God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Do we have approval of agenda?
I approve the agenda.
I second. Any public comments?
Gonna take a call for the approval. All in
Oh.
favor?
All in favor? Aye. Do I have to?
Just terrific. Okay.
No public comments.
No public comments. Approval of March 25th, 2025 committee meeting minutes.
I move we approve the committee minutes from March 20th, 2025.
I second. All in favor? Aye. Ms. Gordon? Aye. Career and technical education presentation.
Thank you. And I have the honor this afternoon to bring forward Karen Gilbert. She's our Director for Career Technical Education. She's put together a very good presentation that I'd like to take a summary, and the presentation should be part of your packet. You'll also have a modification of an updated this at our work session. Our goal is to show your pathways, decision-making process that's utilized within career technical education. And then to help you see how we pull together work from academics to work from referendum to show us how we integrate our efforts here at the district. So with that, Mrs. Gilbert.
Thank you, Dr. Stratus and Ms. Gordon. Thank you and board members. I appreciate the opportunity to share how we are using career and tech ed resources and options to prepare our students. Would it be okay? Would you like to pull up this slide presentation? Or we can reference it.
I can pull up the presentation here.
Great, thank you. And good evening to board members online. So part of our overall CT mission is on that first slide, is not only to help provide resources, both federal, state, and local, that's going to support our students to make more informed decisions about what they want to do in life, their niche in life. But it also, it's twofold, that we are truly preparing a skilled workforce that is going to also, hopefully, if they live and work and then come back into our community to stay, it's contributing to the economy. So Career Tech Ed does a lot of benefits for our students. So we'll just hit some of the highlights. And then again, I'm glad we'll be able to share it at the full board work session. And if you have any feedback that you think we'll also need for Friday, thank you so much for that. And Ms. Gordon, can you hear me okay? Yes, I can. Okay, very good. Thank you. So I divided this up, and again, we'll hit highlights on Friday, but I divided up into three major topic areas. For our new board members, it'll be what is career and tech ed and how we have it structured here in Beaufort County. And then we'll look at what are some quality components that make for good pathways, solid pathways. And then, as Dr. Stratus noted, where are we going with this? What's it going to look 5 to 10 years from now? And there's some major things on the horizon that the state is making that I think it's going to be a positive impact. And so we've gave it, education, we give it themes or so we're calling it explores, drives, and accelerates, kind of along the lines of a vehicle, because, we're helping our young people to navigate the world of college and career and future work. And I would say for our new board members, Ms. Frazier and Dr. Carter, it truly is for all kids. It can be for that student who wants to go straight to work when they graduate. It can be for students who want to go on to college. And our pathways can also serve our students who want to enroll in the military. So it truly is, we serve the gamut. We're very indicative of our student population as far as demographics. And we are averaging right now, we have a little over 8,000 course enrollments and about 4,000 students that take one or more unduplicated counts. So it's a significant number that we're serving. And then if you'll see to the side, those are just, you'll hear of this, those are key components that in order for us to receive federal and state dollars, these are things that we need to incorporate. So it's not just a one and done course. It can be for a lot of our students, but truly they can stay with a pathway of interest and have some of these areas that they can focus on to help them have a quality experience by the time they graduate. So we'll hit on several of those. Thank you, Ms. Cushionberry. Next one. So we'll start with the Explorers. Explorers is our middle grades. The reason we say middle grades, we receive funding from the federal and state CTE grants that start with 6th grade. Now, obviously, we are helping do some awareness with our elementary school counselors and so on. But as far as actual course offerings that state approved, they start in the 6th grade. And it's truly about helping them to start figuring out, well, what do they like? What are they interested in? How is that going to tie into what they take at the high school? We have some resources in place. One of them is called Pathful, and it's where our students can take several career interest inventories, and then that helps them and the parents. It has some nice reports about where they think they might want to try to take some high school courses that align to their what's called the IGP. And then another area that we focus on and will continue to increase is STEM, all things STEM. So we have several exploratory courses that students can take on how stuff works. How's a bridge made? How is a little bit of coding and robotics? What can that lead to for programming? And then there's a national curriculum provider called Project Lead the Way. It's very well known, and we are a Project Lead the Way district, and so we use that for a lot of our middle school and high school curriculum. Then we start to really get into where we're driving students to help them to get across the finish line to graduate. So as you know, Dr. Rodriguez, I'm sure you've heard this, 75, 75, 92. Well, I really think our career and tech ed options help contribute to that. For example, our graduation rate last year for career and tech ed kids who started in ninth grade with their cohort, they took CTE pathways, and by the time they graduated, we had a 98% pass rate. And if you say, well, Karen, the devil's in the details, well, that was 971 students that started in the ninth grade with their cohort, and they had some type of technical careers focus and they graduated. So typically statewide, really nationwide, students who participate in these pathways tend to want to stick with it because of some of the engaging tools. We have multiple pathways. We have 25 across all of our 6 high schools and an additional 8 that is shared with the Beaufort Jasper Academy for Career Excellence, or our Career Center. We have, as far as our structure, over the years, we've built a wing or a building on the campus of May River High School and Battery Creek High School. And when we talk about the referendum, you're going to hear how that's going to expand. And then, of course, certifications are important. We want our students, when they walk across the stage, not only to get that high school diploma, but to have some industry recognized certifications as part of the portfolio. Also, you might hear of DECA or HOSA or FBLA or skills. This is actual federal and state funding, as well as local dollars, that help our students if they want to compete locally and nationally. One of the pictures that was on that first slide was of a May River High School student, female. She placed 3rd for her rendition of a sculpture as tribute to 9/11. So you can actually see the 2 twin towers. So I thought it was very good. Her teacher, instructor, Mr. Childers, said she should have got first place. We agree with them. You keep going there, didn't you? Okay, keep on going. So accelerates, there are some exciting things taking place at the state level that's also aligning nicely with what we're doing with our local referendum work. So one thing is it's an updated framework. Right now, we use a tool for students to say, I want to take a welding class, 4 courses, or automotive, or a business and marketing course. It's part of courses that the state approved, and it's surrounded by clusters. The Department of Labor uses them to manage different work categories. Well, that had been updated for 50 years. So that is huge because it's going to impact several ways of how we have to report, but also it's going to be more updated, more user-friendly. So we'll take a look at that. Another huge thing that's happening starting next year, JROTC, which we've always felt is important for our young people and for building those leadership opportunities. They are going to become officially as a pathway under Career and Tech Ed statewide. So that's going to be a positive. And we've actually been including them for the past couple of years with our professional development and so on. Another area that's I'm excited about, one of our high schools, Bluffton High School, is selected as one of 30 sites across the state for an artificial intelligence pilot. We have selected a teacher there, and shout out to the principal, Mr. Matt Hall, for being willing to do this. And then once we work through the pilot next year, then we're excited. We'll expand that to all 6 high schools. So you'll be hearing more about that in the future. And then another new initiative local wise is workforce development. Last year, this academic committee and board approved for what's called local board workforce development through either TCL or a local business organization. So we have our first group graduating from Beaufort Memorial. I'll show you a slide of that in a second. And then also we have students who go over to TCL to do their certified nursing assistant, but now they can also get a workforce development credit. We want to expand that to IT starting in the fall of next year, as well as our trades. And then lastly, we'll talk about some of the referendum projects. And next slide, please. So I won't go through these. This is just that new framework And again, if you need, the state is releasing all kinds of flyers and so on that the schools will be able to use. But I do like the way they're wording it. So like cultivating sustainability, that's going to be our agriculture programs that we have at Barrier Creek and maybe more on down the road. Building futures, that's going to be our building construction trades. Engineering Tomorrow's Solutions, that's our pre-engineering programs that we have. So I like how they're going to package this. It's going to make it more user-friendly for students. And then if you look on the next slide, this is a crosswalk. I thought it'd be helpful for everyone to see. On the left, you have what our current clusters are called. And again, these are state approved and they have multiple courses underneath them that students can take advantage of. And why I keep reiterating state approved is because we want these students to be able to put that on their high school transcript for various reasons. So on the right, you'll see the changes. And where you have in green, it's pretty cool in that information technologies that will become digital technologies, your business, your marketing, those are going to be what they call cross sectors, which makes sense. If I'm going to go into welding and I want to eventually own my own welding business, if I take an entrepreneurship course, that can count in my pathway. So, or if I want to learn how to market whatever it is that I'm going to do. And obviously the digital technologies is huge because every job that we can think of now has some type of advancing technologies. Another huge one I'll call to your attention, STEM will no longer be a cluster unto itself. They're rolling that under advanced manufacturing. So again, I have plenty of other handouts that the state is providing that the schools will be using. And then on this next slide, this just gives you a definition of what the certifications are going to look like for our accountability. So just so you know, as board members, for the report cards that you hear about, they've only had to be a career and tech ed completer with one industry certification. So starting this year with ninth and 10th graders next year, so we'll have time to implement it. There will be multiple certifications based on their pathway that they're going to encourage. And we're in good shape because we had over 1,400 certifications earned last year. So I feel good that we're going to be on target with that. If you'll take a look at this slide on business community partnerships, I can't stress enough just how important they are to the success of our students and our teachers. We have many local employers. They serve in different ways. They'll come into our classrooms to speak to our students. They participate in a lot of our career fairs that our career development facilitators do. But we can't say enough about those partnerships, and they provide for myself and my coordinator, Ralph Latai, an opportunity for feedback on are we on the right track. This is just two examples. If you go to www.lowcountryjobsnow.org, there's a new initiative of the Hilton Head and Bluffton Chamber. They've been working on this for about a year, and they're modeling it after a Greenville County website. It houses now all opportunities for summer work or after school work or part-time work. And it's not just for high school students. They've got sections for college students, for veterans, for seniors. And so a shout out to Tom Hens. Also, we had several career development facilitators working with his committee. So it's live. So we're going to continue to build that, and we're really pushing for some opportunities for students for this summer. This is not the only way kids can do internships. We have the Beaufort County Administration. They have several opportunities. City of Beaufort. We've been working with them for a while. Beaufort Jasper Sewer and Water Authority. We've had a long-standing partnership with them. The other one I'm very proud of is Beaufort Memorial Hospital. They reached out a couple of years ago. Dr. Stratus and I sat in some planning committees. And so we have 13 students that will be graduating on May 13th from 4 different high schools. And they will earn either their patient care technician credential or their certified medical assisting credential. And I can't say enough about Beaufort Memorial. They've been going on Tuesdays and Thursdays. They will train with the nurses and healthcare people there. They have high-end mannequins that they have been working with. There's a good video out there that I could share with you. But it's just a great way to have more intentional, targeted training. And they've already noted that they will offer those students jobs if they want to, when they're not required, but they certainly can move straight into employment. And they have a program called PATH, People Achieving Their Highest, that if they stay with Beaufort Memorial Hospital for a certain amount of time, they will pay for them to go on to get their either RN or physical therapist, whatever it is that they're wanting to pursue. So, it's a great partnership, and I see this growing. We'll definitely expand this south of the Broad when we open up our health sciences at Hilton Head. And I have to also say, May River High School, we do already have our own in-house nurse aid program there. So the teacher there, does a phenomenal job with the students. And she does partner with Encompass Health for the kids to do their clinicals and a couple of the local healthcare facilities. So just two examples of some great partnerships that's very important. Next slide, please.
There are new healthcare facilities being built in Bluffton as we speak.
You are spot on.
Possibilities for more students to get involved, engaged.
I think this is huge, and just from everything I hear from all of them, that being able to have that pipeline is going to really make a difference. And speaking of that, the last part of this, we'll open up to questions. I always remember Mr. Stribinger was a former board member and chairman, and I always appreciate him. He said, Karen, you have to always put your goals down. Where are you going with your vision? And that always stuck with me. He's a good man. And so this is what we're going to be working toward over the next 5 to 10 years. And obviously, we're going to align CTE course offerings that's meeting current labor market demand, but also the future. That includes then some flexible learning spaces, and we'll talk a little bit about what that means for the referendum. Obviously, we want to increase for all students. If they want to earn something within those stackable credentials, we want to make sure we have them to access that. Employability skills. I'm sure you all in your world, we hear so many employers say, if someone can shake my hand and look me in the eye and put the cell phone down, how can we help with that? So we have a lot of feedback on that. And then at that last one, obviously for dual enrollment, we're going to continue to have those partnerships with TCL and USCB. And then that last one, I can't stress enough, supporting our highly qualified teachers. We currently serve 84 teachers across very diverse, different content areas, and they're critical to the success of our program. So what does that look like over the next 5 years? To go to the next slide, I purposely wanted to include this map of Beaufort County because as you all know, we're spread out. It takes about an hour and 30 minutes to go from the tip end of Hilton Head if they were going up to Seabrook and Well Branch. That's on a good day without traffic.
Reading my mind.
And we are adjacent to Gold Mine with Savannah, with Charleston, obviously Jasper County with the port that'll be coming on board in the near future. So really Beaufort County, we're poised to have a lot of opportunities for our young people. So that's when you hear of these pathways and how we have selected pathways, it is aligned with different local market needs assessments that we've done, meeting with business and industry folks. I'm part of a regional CT administrators with Jasper, Hampton, and Colleton counties. So this is the areas that we've landed on that we feel like we know that there's going to be growth or sustainability. There's already a critical workforce shortage in several of these. So if you go to the next slide, please. So one way to do this is through the referendums that has passed, and we're so appreciative of the community and their support. And if you'll look, just scroll it up just a little bit, I took this picture a couple weeks ago. Do you see the very corner there that's sticking out on the second floor? I'm excited. That is our new health sciences wing build, that's lab that's going to be there. So it doesn't look like it right now, but it's coming. So actually, this is a good segue. If you'll please, and those who are online, we're going to switch over to the executive summary. I thought that would be a little better as far as what the referendum will be supporting. So that's okay, Dr. Shred, you can leave there. Yes, ma'am. We'll look at it here. And for those of you online, we're just looking at the executive summary. So if you look at the bottom page, we have pathways that it's important that will be available, if not now, but over the next 5 to 10 year period for all of our high schools. We feel like that's important, that all students have an opportunity to do some business or financial services type of pathways or courses if it's not the full pathway. Obviously, that entrepreneurship, they want to learn how to open up their own business, to have those foundational skills and marketing. Digital technologies needs to be available for all of our students across all 6 high schools. It may look a little differently as far as, is it cybersecurity or is it artificial intelligence? But we definitely want to make sure that there's access for all students for that. This is a good time in Ms. Christianberry. We have switched over to the executive summary. So that's fine. You can leave it there.
Question is,
Yes, ma'am.
your JRLT brings to all high schools?
Yes, ma'am. Great question. We had May River to come on board, 2 years ago, Colonel Geyer, with Air Force JRTC. So we have 2 Marine JRTCs, 2 Air Force JRTCs, and 1 Army and 1 Navy. So we're represented at all. So speaking of that, for healthcare, JRTC, and engineering, due to the referendum and the support for that, we're then able to meet this vision over the next 5 to 10 years. Because, like I said, for healthcare, that's part of the referendum project at Hilton Head Island High School. They're the only school that has not had the healthcare pathway, simply the footprint. They literally not had the space, so now that they will. And then JRTC, we, as part of building at May River right now, they've been operating out of Beaufort. So they will come on, they'll have a new facility that they'll be able to operate out of. And then for Bluffton High, same way. Their Army ROTC, as part of the new referendum building, they will move out to there. And then engineering will be, we're going to be able to expand as part of the referendum at Hilton Head Island High School. And I'll explain on the next page what that looks like. So on the second page, this is where we get into the huge referendum projects that went through the Citizens-Led Oversight Committee. Can't say enough about that committee and the questions that they asked to help move forward what projects they felt was going to be important. And then, of course, our board and Dr. Rodriguez's support. So I'm excited to say over the next 5 to 10 years, or really 5 years, we're going to have a new construction building pathway at Beaufort High School and at Bluffton High School. And that will complement what we already have at Beaufort Jasper Career Academy. So just like we do with our welding pathways, we have one at May River, Battery Creek, and in the middle at Ace. We're trying to be strategic in how we are offering access for our students. And so with this building trades program, it'll be in a building on the campus of Bluffton High and on Beaufort High. It'll be a big, huge shop area, and we want a modern take on it. As students do the foundational stuff of how to use the equipment and how to do residential carpentry, they're going to branch out their junior, and senior years to either electrical, plumbing, HVAC, or through building construction. So, and it's partnering with our already existing civil engineering and architecture. So for those kids who want to go on to school, but they want to do more of the design work, I think it's going to be a great opportunity for them. For welding and automotive, we already have had those programs. They've been very successful at May River. We're just finishing out the referendum projects by having an expansion for advanced processes. I'm excited about that third bullet for small engine and marine technologies. That will come on at Hilton Head Island High School for young people to learn how to do not just the traditional models, but also moving into hybrid, some electrical. And again, this will complement with what ACE is doing. So again, we'll have increased access. Public safety is huge. So at Beaufort High, Bluffton, and now Hilton Head, with these CTE buildings, if you want, or advanced technical centers, we will have a public safety firefighter program. Eventually, we will add an EMT focus because, in talking with all of our local fire departments, they say you got to have both paired together. They also tell me that by having it adjacent to the construction trades program, they said that will be a good collaboration for that. So we have great support for that. And then for Bluffton High, we've already had a firefighter program going for a while, but he's been having to operate out of a mobile. So he will move into a larger shop area there at Bluffton High for that. Ms. Gordon, how are you? Okay. Another referendum project supported will be in our family consumer sciences. Again, at Bluffton High School, I'll say it, we tried to make it look nice, but they've been operating out of an old home ec lab, they and Beaufort High School, and they've made it work. The teachers have, but I'm excited that through this referendum, they will have a nice new, more commercial kitchen for both Beaufort High and for Bluffton. And again, it'll free up space in the existing building. So it's not adding the program, it's just modernizing the learning spaces. And then culinary arts at Hilton Head and at Beaufort High, that again, he's been operating at Hilton Head out of a renovated home ec lab. And so he's looking forward to having more of a commercialized kitchen. And that's going to tie in nicely with our partnerships with the local resorts. And then just lastly, I wanted to call your attention to some additional advanced CT pathways, not specific to the referendum, but come through other funding sources such as our federal and state grants. But agricultural sciences, shout out to the teacher there and the principal. They added a greenhouse for the last referendum, and so it's going well there. Media technology was added at Well Branch Early College High School. And the teacher there is really excited about building that program for their students. Cybersecurity this year was added to Beaufort High School. So now we have it in 3 strategic locations at Hilton Head, Well Branch, and Beaufort. And then, of course, I shared with you our artificial intelligence will start at Bluffton High, and then it'll expand. Drone technologies, I'm excited about this. It is now a state-approved pathway, and our firefighter program has been using that already. It'll now expand to Battery Creek in their aerospace program. So we're with all that's going on with drones, we felt like that would be a good fit. And then lastly, a new program that's not referendum specific, but we're excited about is global logistics and supply chain. We're going to start the first course at Well Branch Early College High School. We have 2 teachers that are willing to do the training, and they're excited about doing that. And eventually that will lead, when the students become seniors and are close to becoming 18, they'll be able to work for their CDL license. We'll partner with TCL on that. And then just lastly, at the bottom, you have these are courses that are exploratory in nature that'll be available to all 8 of our middle schools. Medical detectives, the fun one, science of technology, computer science innovators and makers, We'll continue to offer, as I said, the digital technologies that's computer science related. There's a great introductory course to all the careers called Intro to Careers. And then at Ladies Island Middle School, they have been teaching what's called Intro to Health Professions. Dr. Brown does a phenomenal job with their students there. And then I'm excited to note we're going to be adding that to H.E. McCracken Middle School per Dr. Ward. And I think that's going to be a good fit. And then I'll just finish up. I found, AI, you can find all kinds of quotes, and I wanted to read this out to you because I said, gosh, this is a perfect fit for what we're trying to accomplish. It says, today, the imaginary line separating career and technical ed and traditional career readiness activities is rapidly blurring. The question is no longer whether learners should pursue CTE or academic education, but rather how leaders in education across industries can leverage both avenues to support young people and acquiring those variety of technical skills that they're going to need to achieve economic and social mobility in the years ahead. That's from a Forbes magazine quote. And on Friday, we'll share, we won't tonight, but we'll share a little 2 or 3 minute video on it shows some of our CTE students and teachers. But I hope I'll open it up to questions. What do you think? Are we on the right track? What can I answer for you?
Be confident you're on the right track.
Okay, well, good. That's
I mean,
good to hear.
Looking at the number of students that are involved and success rates and opening up new avenues, new opportunities, revamping space, and just that's where we're going.
Thanks.
That's where we're going.
I think Mike check, you guys have done a great job. Looking at where we were 10 years ago. Looking at where the students are 10 years, from
Yes,
10 years
ma'am.
ago to now, and what they can achieve. But giving them the tools, and that's what you're doing.
Yes, ma'am.
When you look at what the teachers are requesting in the buildings to the kids, you're making sure they can. And the only way they can get hands-on is to have hands-on. And it has to be, in the student, within the school.
Thanks for recognizing that.
Yeah, so I appreciate all that you guys do, absolutely. But I also give kudos to the kids. Yeah.
That's a good point.
They did have these programs, but I'm glad, I'm truly, as a former teacher and educator in Beaufort County, the song Rise Up, still doing it, Rise Up. And that's what the kids are doing. And I think we're showing them that we appreciate what they are doing. I mean, as the teachers was make sure this happens. But phenomenal. Thank you, Ms. Gordon. Thank all of you for what you're doing. Appreciate it.
Madam Chair, if I could bring forward just a few points. One, this young lady has had a hands-on behind the scenes with 2 referendums. And I would be remiss not to make comment of herself and Mr. Lataya and the specific work that they do. It's what I call behind the curtain. They make it happen. They do the alignment. They share the data points over to operations at the development of referendums. But then not only that is the execution of staffing and filling that space. It just doesn't happen. They turn over a shell. She makes it live. When looking at the presentation component, when Ms. Gilbert was talking about exploration, I wanted to recognize we also have Project Launch at elementary.
Yes.
The idea for that actually came from Ralph Batai and Karen. And then our crosswork was conducted for the science standards that were represented there. And Nick Flowers conducted that for us at the time to get that little guys, get that taste. It's great to see the state is starting to align itself with what I call the engineering challenges. If you're familiar with their work, you'll see that the language that they're using on their new pathways. But we won't be able to do this without pushing forward to CTE teachers and legislation. So your voice is needed at times. There's legislations up for one more signature to give those in the professional world that opportunity for years of service as they come into education. Their years of service should be no different than they're an expert in the field. So I just want to bring that forward to draw that to your attention. And two quick things, the accountability component of college career readiness are highest in the district history, has been at the work of being methodical at work and working with the school sites. And to close, we have choice application season. We're just under 1,000 applications. It is the highest we've had under our tenure. And of that, 168 are students new or returning back into the district. Now, these are brand new. This is data that I looked at right as each of you were arriving into the room. But that is the highest we've had of students of applications back to us. Private school, out of state, moving here in, and coming new, the little ones coming into us from private school as well. That's kudos to the work that our system is doing. I wanted to share that with you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I say that? Can I say something?
Yes, Mr. Gordon?
Yes, you asked whether you were going on the right track. Well, definitely. This is, you have put us all on the right track. And I have a niece in a program. She goes to the ACE, but she's in the EMT program, where she's doing clinicals at Beaufort Memorial Hospital. She's riding on the EMT truck, and she's graduating this year from Will Branch High, and she's really excited about this opportunity that she's doing. And yeah, we're definitely on the right track. I do have a question. At some of the schools where different courses are at, all right. If the school doesn't carry a course that a student want, they'll be bused to one of the other CTEs.
That's actually the application process, but I'm going to let Ms. Gilbert go a little deeper. This is Mary Dr. Stratos, Mr. Gordon.
Gotcha.
So that is part of our choice application world. If an existing program resides at your home or your zone school,
Okay.
you don't have the opportunity to apply out. But Mrs. Gilbert is the expert because she's been working very hard to make sure that we have a tight alignment.
Yes, so great question, Mr. Gordon. At this time, unless it's a grant specific, for example, MedTech 7 has an opportunity to provide transportation. But for parents who want to choice their student into, say, the welding program at Barry Creek or May River, transportation is currently not provided for that avenue. They have an opportunity to choice in to pursue that technical field. But no, sir, at this time, we're not providing the transportation. I know for the federal and state funds that I oversee, that's not an allowable cost. So that would have to be something at the local level. But thank you for bringing that forward.
It would have to come from general fund, and at this
Yes.
time and place, the capacity for the system is a little challenging.
So that's why I'm glad you brought that up, Mr. Gordon, and that's why I was kind of strategically trying to do something in the northern part of the county, southern part, and then also all of our high schools have an opportunity, just like your niece, to go to ACE to pursue that as well, as far as our geographical footprint, if you will.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Whenever there's an opportunity, I'd like to say something as well.
Okay.
Okay.
Just let me follow up with this real quickly about the transportation. And for years, transportation has been one of the key issues that we have, because I mean, we have transportation monies to transport our kids to school, back home again. And then some of our kids who go to ACE, we foot that bill. But the additional costs of transporting our children from one institution to the other is a phenomenal cost. It's a big cost. And it's not that the school district does not want to do that. We just don't have the funds to do that on, not on the basis that these some of these kids would want to do. But I do say that our children still have the opportunity to attend different programs. They really do. I can't remember because it was back in 92, maybe Robin can help. But we didn't have the funds that we have now. The kids who went to ACE went there from their high schools, the buses took them and we brought them back. But as far as taking them to other venues, we just didn't have the buses or the money. But I'm glad to hear that the programs that we do have and the transportation that is allowed gives our students an opportunity to partake and get the skill sets and even the wherewithal about whether or not this is something that they want to do. So maybe one day we'll have a big, fund balance to make sure that the kids go wherever they want to go. And I appreciate the means of which you're trying to do this and putting them in the north of Broad, south of Broad areas. But again, our kids are taking advantage of it. And that's a big help. And then, and maybe we'll get some funding one day that can actually pay the driver, pay the gas, pay for the bus back and forth so that these students can go wherever they want to go. So thank you. And I'll turn it over to Mr. Dallas now.
Okay, I just want to make a two or three very brief comments. The first is that the larger community is definitely noticing. In a conversation recently, I was pleased to learn that the Hilton Head Island Bluffton Chamber of Commerce is also partnering and looking to partner even more with us. I think that's a real big indicator that people are beginning to view the school district as a source of superbly talented, trained people across so many different spheres and areas. So that's good to see. The other thing is Pastor Gordon and I were able to go up to the Capitol, I think it was April 9th or 10th, and we were able to meet with Superintendent Ellen Weaver, but also Ms. Susie Sharp of the South Carolina Council on Competitiveness. Ms. Sharp, President Shannon was going through all of the phenomenal programs that the state is doing, executing, and she mentioned that she had something going on with Beaufort County. And as she explained it, it was with such joy and, excitement that Mr. Pastor Gordon and I called Ms. Gilbert on the way back from Columbia. And I don't know if it's been completely and officially announced yet, but that was a phenomenally interesting program that President Shannon mentioned, and she was so excited about it. So there's so many good things happening, and I'm superbly delighted that the world outside of the Beaufort County School District is becoming more and more aware. So just wanted to say kudos for all the work that's taking place, and it is much appreciated and people are noticing. Thank you, ma'am.
Mr. Dallas.
Madam Chair. Chair.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's all right. That's all right. When you were talking about the elementary school program, I've taken people to Port Royal Elementary, and the most impressive thing that multiple groups have told me that they saw was they went into the classroom where they had the 3 robots. They had the robots for the kindergartners, robots for the 3rd grade, and robots for the 5th grade. And then we went into a classroom, a 5th grade classroom, and there was a student at the smart board programming that robot. That blew their minds because they have never seen or heard about anything like that. And I would recommend you use that as a in your briefing as to what's going on at the elementary schools to get that excitement going and having them have a path, starting that pathway at a very early age, because that skill set they'll use no matter what field they go into. So that's a very, very impressive piece.
Anyone else? Yes, Ms. Frazier.
And not to sound negative or anything, but for the 163 students that are going to return back to the district
Oh, they knew.
from the ones coming back from private school, would like more information.
I'm
If you
just
know.
starting to look at it, yes.
Okay,
I'm gonna wait to find out my report to the board, come and review the letters out. And then we can give a report back to say on their acceptance. And then we could also we generally report out to which programs and which schools have received. So that will be a part as we sunset this and this happen. Appeals start and close by May 15th. I generally save that for a June presentation to give all the details, and then we have a second window that happens towards the end of July. But I'll get, once again, for new people move into the system. So, yes, ma'am.
Anyone else? Anyone online would like to say anything? Okay.
Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Gordon.
The board members, we also have this evening a presentation by Karen McKinsey, our Deputy of Teaching and Learning. She's bringing forward 3 administrative regulations for the education of the board. We recognize that administrative regulations are brought to you for your knowledge. There's no action necessary, but we bring them forward so we can have your input. So with that, I'm going to turn this over to Ms. McKinsey. There'll be IS2, IS7, Instructional Services 2, Instructional Services 7, and IS44. If any of these are new, they are updates, so you should have what we call the red line and the final versions. That's why you would have 2 of each. Mrs. McKinsey?
Thank you, Dr. Stratus, and thank you, board members. I hate to follow Ms. Gilbert's presentation with administrative regulations, but we have to do what we have to do, right? And part of what we do in instructional services is we make sure that we periodically review our administrative regulations and gather a group together to bring forward some changes to them, to update to them. So we have 3 of those tonight, as Dr. Stratus said. The first one is on teacher expectations and accountability. So this sets forth what our superintendent's expectations are for our instructional staff, what kind of proficiency and talent level we expect there. So I'll just go through the actual executive summaries, but you'll be able to see the red line. If it's red, it's something that has been added. If it has a black line strike through it, that means that we have taken that piece out for a specific reason. So it's a lot to look at. So I did it into an executive summary to make it a little bit easier to see the actual changes. So in IS2, the revisions to section 1 is we had an addition of that statement. And all of our administrative regulations, we will be putting in the statement. The administrative regulation sets forward the superintendent's expectations and then what are his expectations. So that's the first change in section 1. In section 2, the non-discrimination clause that we have been putting into all of our administrative regulations has a little bit of an update. to reflect some of the current directives that were under state and nationally. Then section 3, subsection 2, we added the statement, and this may not have been totally necessary, but we felt as a district it was. And what we added was South Carolina standards. It had just said before that we would instructionally plan. We wanted to make sure that we are focusing on the South Carolina standards, and that is what we do in this district. So we included that piece. Section 3, subsection 10. We also added an addition, and this aligns with our mission in Beaufort County to have collaborative planning, professional learning communities in every school. And those are going really well. We're seeing a lot of gains coming out of those. So we wanted to make sure we also added that collaborative language here. We expect, and our superintendent's expectation is that we are collaboratively planning as professionals to meet the needs of all of our students. And that is IS2. So IS7, and this is a good one to follow that one because this is curriculum development, adoption and review. And we were fortunate, I believe, at the last meeting where we had Dr. Jason come and share an adoption with us at that time. So that's kind of fresh in our mind. And we're moving into curriculum writing. So that's coming up. Again, section 1 on this one, we added the superintendent's expectation is being set forth by the administrative regulation. We made that required directive change in section 2 to our non-discrimination clause. In section 3, we removed the statement of implementation and change in processes. And the reason why is because now when we move into a process change, it's not done in isolation. And before it was like, I'm changing this process, we're changing it. We don't do it that way anymore. Now, when we are going to change a process, we bring in multiple stakeholders, we have input. So that was really not a necessary statement there. Section 3, subsection C, we added the term MAPS. And the reason why is because we don't just provide a curriculum to our teachers, but we provide a curriculum map. And just for the difference there, we don't hand you a bunch of stuff and say, go at it. We hand you something that is well paced out so that we can ensure that standards are taught in a timely and efficient manner so that they all are completed. Having taught for almost 40 years, I can tell you that the time runs out sometimes, and we don't want that to happen for our students and our teachers. So we do those in MAPS now. Section 4, we just changed a little bit of the wording so that it focused more on academic skills development rather than just skill development. We wanted to make sure that we had that term in there. Section 5, subsection A, we did a revision to align to personalized instruction. For many years, the state pushed, we're going to differentiate what we do within the classroom. We want to differentiate what we do, which means we're going to do it in different ways so that all kids can have an opportunity. What we found is sometimes kids were getting lost in that. What we really needed to do was personalize the learning for each student. So we changed that language to align with the state. Section 5, subsection B, we also made a change there to include the student's academic strengths. That leads, before we had just stated career in this, and we went back and added college and military as well, because all 3 of those are a focus for our children. And then we added the coherent governance manual to all of them. I'm looking. 44 is the next one. Is it so painful? Is it participants regulation? Okay. So this one is test and examinations, also very timely right now because our students are well into getting prepared for those. The addition of the statement, the administrative regulation sets forth our superintendent's expectations. Again, in section 2, we made that slight change in our non-discrimination clause to meet current directives. In section 5, this is where we had a change that was really important that we get this one made. We changed previously in the state, we were testing English 1 students with an end of course exam that was required prior to graduation. The state has moved that to English 2. So we wanted to make sure we provided the accurate language for our students and families within the regulation. And we also added the coherent governance manual citations to this one as well. And some of you know that I bring these forward quite frequently. I will say this, we don't do it willy-nilly. We do have a plan. We have gone through all 61 of our regulations and determined which ones need to go next. And that is really in an effort to provide accurate information to the families and students that we serve. So I will take any questions if you have them.
I don't have any questions, but I find the red line extraordinary. I've read them this afternoon, and yeah,
It doesn't make it easier. Thank you.
really makes, yeah, thank you.
And to share before we come forward to board, we go through the extensive.
Makes sense.
So updates, Ms. McKinsey works very hard at research, wording, and sits with legal conducts confirmation of our reference and citation, as well as cross checks regulations once again. So it's a double vetting scenario. Then we bring them here. And in between that, we just beat each other.
And it's what she's not saying. It's between that, it goes to her and she tells me yes or no.
I don't take the pen as I used to.
We welcome it.
Yes. Madam Chair, any questions?
I know I agree. Everything got the time. I think,
Red line. It does.
that's what did it. A lot of this is things that I had to do as a teacher, you know,
Mhm.
AP. And so, I'm sitting here smiling, not because I don't know this stuff, but because it's just glad to see the updates and all that's going on. It's just phenomenal. So thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. And bringing this to us. Again, you do such a great job.
And I'll be back.
No, I have no other questions. Comments? Anyone online?
Nobody's.
Anyone online with any questions?
None here.
Next item on the agenda, Madam Chair, would be potential for future topics. Now we'll bring it forward to Mrs. Cushionberry. I will make note for the June academic committee to have that information brought forward.
May.
May. No, I won't
Oh.
have the choice information until
okay.
June. I need to have appeals, denial.
All that stuff.
All the process.
Yes, and yes.
So our next meeting would be May 28th.
That's a graduation day.
It is graduation,
Memorial Day, yeah.
yes.
So we will have a meeting for May.
Nope.
So then we'll just, if it pleases Madam Chair, then if we, unless there's something within student services, and I do ask the opportunity to reach out to them. And I would ask them if they could bring it to the June meeting. Would
Well,
that
the
be-
June meeting, we need to change because of graduation. Board meetings are on the 11th and on the 25th. So the 25th would have been our June meeting.
So,
So we can meet the 24th or the 18th is operations at 5. We can meet the 24th or the 26th
wrapping up summer school, Ms. McKinsey, are you
Yes,
okay?
ma'am.
of June. We're in June, so we can meet the 26th in June.
24th will work. because summer school will be wrapping up that week for elementary and secondary settings. Ms. McKinsey still has up through the 4th of July
Of June,
for your paperwork.
ma'am.
what kind of meeting?
Yes, ma'am.
Business session at Hilton Head out.
So Hilton Head, that meeting would be the 25th. The board meeting would be the 25th
In Hilton Head.
at Hilton Head, Tuesday, the 25th.
11th here.
So the 11th would be here. They're off because of graduations. Oh, you know why? Because I'm looking at.
Okay,
I'm sorry. I'm looking at 24.
Turn on my
No,
phone.
no, I'm looking.
Okay,
I had this out, sorry, sorry. Let me go back.
okay, because if I do the 24th, it
No,
would be
you're-
Tuesday, okay.
Sorry, I'm in 2024. Let me go to the right gear.
2025.
Yeah, I was looking at 2024. So June
Only
24th
24 I'm a year
is correct.
younger.
That is the board meeting on Hilton Head. So we could do Monday, June 23rd here.
Third council meeting, third budget meeting.
Okay,
Budget meeting, yep,
all right, then.
county council.
we're not gonna do that.
What time is that meeting typically?
That would start at 5 o'clock.
Yeah, they're only 5.
They start at 5.
And you're best to arrive early because it doesn't get, it gets crowded in there.
How about I just send something out and see what's available at the time?
And we're far enough.
So May. Yeah, that's graduations. Week. So we're not gonna schedule a meeting in May.
Unless it would be earlier in the month.
Doing what?
I don't want to step.
Right.
So we have a board meeting, if I'm correct, on May 6th.
May 6th.
And we have one on
On the
the
20th.
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 Correct.
And that last week we get into graduations
Yeah,
almost
so
every
we have
week.
the week of the 20th.
Don't know if you all are free on the 21st.
You can put it as a placeholder, Mrs. Cushenberry, and then if possible, then I'll get with the team to find out what items we may have. I don't believe we'll be able to turn around ARs this quickly that are being updated unless they're already in the hands of legal. I know.
We could just save it for June.
Yes, ma'am.
We'll see.
Yes, ma'am. I'm reading minds.
We could just,
She knows exactly.
yeah, we could just save them all for June.
Then we'll save it for June if that pleases the
That
board
would be-
and the chair, Madam Chair.
Yes.
All right. Only because we're getting close and we have testing. Our team is going to be supporting placement testing at Bluffton. Our team goes out and supports schools for testing. Yeah. Your granddaughter is graduating and I'm keeping them.
It's fantastic.
That is.
So we will plan the next meeting in June.
Yes, ma'am. I appreciate your flexibility, board members.
It's like they have enough on their schedule. I might be. Y'all meet a lot.
I want to say I was told twice a month.
This?
On the Board of Ed. I was told twice a month.
I was just gonna check.
That's
how
the
the
board
board
meeting.
Are we still live?
We're still live. So
Okay. No, I will not say what I would have said.
unanimous consent, you can adjourn, Madam Chair, if you would like.
Right, unanimous. Now adjourn, raise my hand.
Aye.
All right.
So,
Madam,
Madam,
now adjourn, so turn this off.